Hello, this is Priyanka. As we have started lecture series on some concepts in mathematics, in the previous session of coordinate geometry part 1, we have studied the concept of introduction to coordinate geometry, why there is a need of coordinate geometry or Cartesian plane, then what is x coordinate, what is y coordinate, what is the meaning of abscissa, ordinate, how to represent the point by using Cartesian plane, and some different concepts. I am sharing the link of that video in the description box. Now today we are going to study some different concepts related to coordinate geometry only. Now today we are going to learn a concept of how to find the distance between any two points. First हम नंबर लाइन कंसिडर करेंगे एंड उस पे हम फाइंड आउट करेंगे कि दो पॉइंट्स के बीच का डिस्टेंस कैसे निकालते हैं. सपोज मैंने लिया दिस इज द नंबर लाइन. ऑल ऑफ यू आर अवेयर अबाउट द कंसेप्ट ऑफ नंबर लाइन. We will start from 0. There are positive numbers on the right hand side of the 0 and negative numbers on the left hand side of the 0. So we will mark this as 1, 2, 3, 4. Similarly, -1, -2, -3 and -4. Suppose we will consider some points. If I mark this point 2 as point P, then this is Q and suppose this is R. And if we want to find out the distance between suppose PR or QR, how to find out the distance between these 2 points? I will consider this. Suppose if I am considering these points A and B with coordinates A with coordinate x1 and B with coordinate x2, and we have to find out the distance between A and B, then what will be that? Distance of A and B equal to simply x2 minus x1, where x2 is greater than x1. Similarly, we will find out distance between these 2 points. Suppose we want to find the distance between these points P and R. How to find out this distance? Clearly you know that 2 is greater than -3, right? Then what will be our x1? x1 is -3 and x2 is 2. We will mark this as x1 equal to -3 and x2 is 2. Because हमने यहाँ पे यह फॉर्मूला सीखा है कि जब x2 greater than x1 होगा तो डिस्टेंस बिटवीन a and b क्या आएगा? x2 minus x1. Similar things we are applying here. So what will be the distance between P and R? Simply the formula x2 minus x1. And what is x2 here? x2 is 2 minus what is x1 here? Minus, and you all of you are aware about minus into minus becomes plus. Then what will we get here? 2 plus 3 and 2 plus 3 equal to 5. Means distance between the points P and R equal to 5. Similarly, we are going to find out the distance between Q and R. What will be the distance between Q and R? Distance of QR. Similarly, we will find out what is x1 and what is x2. Here clearly 4 is greater than -3. Means what will be the x1? x1 is -3, which is the less number, and x2 will be 4. And what is our formula? x2 minus x1. What is x2 here? 4 minus -3. Minus into minus gets plus, means 4 plus 3, which is equal to 7. Means distance between the point Q and R is 7. And remember, always distance is always positive. It cannot be negative. Now, moving forward, what is the representation of point on x-axis and y-axis? We are going to find out the general format of representing any point on x-axis or y-axis. Simply, we will consider this coordinate plane or Cartesian system. All of you are aware about this is the origin with coordinates 0, 0. There are positive values on the right hand side of the origin, negative values on the left hand side of the origin. Similarly, positive values above the origin and negative values below the origin. Simply, OX is called as positive x-axis, OX dash is called as negative x-axis, this OY is called as positive y-axis, and this OY dash is called as negative y-axis. Now we are going to find out the format for representation of a point. Suppose if we want to find out the coordinates of this point, means coordinate of 1, which is simply on x-axis. How to represent that point? Simply it will be 1, 0, because we are moving 1 unit in the positive x direction and there is no movement in any y direction. So what will be the coordinates? 1, 0. And all of you are aware about this first coordinate is called as x coordinate and second coordinate is called as y coordinate, and this is the ordered pair. Order is very important in this. Now how to represent this point? Simply 2, 0, because we are moving 2 units in the positive x direction and there is no moment in any y direction. Similarly, how to represent these points? Simply -1, 0, because we are moving 1 unit in the negative x direction and no moment in the y direction. Similarly, -2, 0. So how to find out the general format from this? Simply x, 0. X may be any values from this. It may be positive or negative. Means यहाँ पे positive values भी आ सकते हैं और negative values भी आ सकते हैं. And simply as we are seeing, in each point there is no moment in the y direction. Hence we are taking this as 0. Means general format to express any point on the x-axis will be x, 0. X may be any positive value or negative value. Similarly, how to represent any point on the y-axis is simply how to represent this point. There is movement of 1 unit in the positive y direction and there is no movement in the x direction. So how to represent this point? 0, 1, because there is no movement in the x direction, so it will be 0, and 1 unit movement in the positive y direction means 1. Similarly, 0, 2, and how to represent these points? Simply 0, -1 and 0, -2. Means what will be the general format to represent any point on the y-axis is 0, y, because there is no movement in the x coordinate or x direction, and this y coordinate will be any positive value or negative value. Now to find the distance between any two points on x axis. अभी हमने देखा था कि x axis पे जनरल पॉइंट का रिप्रेजेंटेशन कैसा होता है एंड y axis का जनरल पॉइंट फॉर्मेट कैसा होता है. तो अब हमें क्या फाइंड आउट करना है कि अगर हमने कौन से भी दो पॉइंट ले लिए एक्स एक्सिस पे तो उनका डिस्टेंस कैसे फाइंड आउट करते हैं. ओके, सपोज दिस इज पॉइंट ए एंड दिस इज पॉइंट बी विच इज ऑन एक्स एक्सिस. So we are taking the coordinates of that as the coordinate of A is x1, 0, because this is the point on x axis, and similarly to point B we are taking x2, 0, and just we have to find out the distance between point A and B. Here we clearly we can see that x2 is greater than x1, right, because we are moving in the positive x direction. Okay, so distance will be simply this point minus this point, that is x2 minus x1. Similarly, we can find out the distance between any two points on y-axis, such as for y-axis what you will do is, this is the origin, x-axis, x dash, y and y dash. How to find out the distance between any two points on y-axis is, suppose this is point A and this is point B. What will be the coordinates? Simply 0, y1 and 0, y2, such that here y2 is greater than y1. Means what will be the distance between these two points is distance of AB equal to y2 minus y1. Means when we are considering the points simply on x-axis, and when x2 is greater than x1, the distance will be simply x2 minus x1, and when we are considering these points on y-axis and y2 greater than y1, then distance between these two points will be y2 minus y1. Now we will see how to derive the distance formula. Suppose we have given this point A, x1, y1, and this point B, x2, y2, and if we want to find out the distance between these two points. Okay, so how to find out the distance between these two points? Just we have to find out distance between these two points. Drop a perpendicular from B to x-axis. Similarly, drop a perpendicular from A to x-axis. Similarly, drop a perpendicular from A to y-axis and from B to y-axis, and also drop a perpendicular here. Hence, this line will be perpendicular to this line. Hence, the angle will be right angle or 90 degree. I will call this as point P. This will be simply R, S, T and U. And you want to find out the distance between these two points A and B. So what will be this distance OR? Because the coordinates of A are x1, y1. Hence this will be x coordinate means abscissa. Hence the distance of OR is x1. Similarly, what is this distance O and S? Because we are considering the coordinates of B here, that is x2, y2, then this distance will be x2. Okay. Now similarly, what will be this distance? This whole distance BS, this will be y2 because we are considering the coordinates of x2, y2, that is B. And similarly, what will be this distance or this distance? Simply consider this distance. This distance will be y1 because here we are considering the coordinates of A, that is x1, y1. अब ये PS लाइन इस लाइन को पैरेलल है तो इसका भी डिस्टेंस क्या हो जाएगा y1. नाउ RS का डिस्टेंस क्या होगा? सिंपली OS minus OR, that is x2 minus x1. This will be distance of RS, right? Means here x2 minus x1, but we can see that this line is parallel to this segment. Okay, so what will be this distance? x2 minus x1 simply. Now what will be the distance of BP? Simply this y2 minus this distance, we will get this distance. We have to just subtract, or we have to just find out BS minus PS. We will get this distance, that is BP. Means simply y2 minus y1 equal to BP. This will be this distance. Now the task is so simple. We have to just find out the distance of AB. And all of you are aware about Pythagoras theorem. What is the Pythagoras theorem? If we are considering a right angle triangle, then hypotenuse square equal to side 1 square plus side 2 square. And the side which is opposite to right angle is called as hypotenuse. Means how we will write this as simply AB square equal to AP square plus this BP square. Simple. Okay. So what is the value of AP here? x2 minus x1 means x2 minus x1 whole bracket square. And what is the value of BP here? That is y2 minus y1 means just y2 minus y1 square. Here AB square equal to x2 minus x1 square plus y2 minus y1 square. But we just want to find out the distance between A and B. Means we have to take here square root on both sides. What will be that? AB equal to square root of x2 minus x1 square plus y2 minus y1 square. Here we are just taking positive square root because all of you are aware that distance cannot be negative. Hence we are excluding or ignoring the sign of negative and we are just taking the positive square root. So this is the distance between point A and B, and simply this formula is called as distance formula. So today we have learned about how to find out the distance between any two points on the number line, how to represent a particular point on x-axis or y-axis, how to find out the distance between any two points which is particularly on x-axis and particularly on y-axis, and we have also derived the distance formula, that is distance between any two points. Suppose we have considered the point like A with coordinates x1 y1 and B with coordinate x2 y2, then what will be the distance between that two point is square root of x2 minus x1 square plus y2 minus y1 square. Thank you.